Hey everybody, Scoutcrafter here again. We're back in the shop. We're going to try and do a little restoration. Some people were asking me, where do you find these rusty tools, you know? Well, you saw what I picked up at the show. Here's one clip that didn't make it into the cut. Let me show you why some of these tools are so rusty. It's pretty funny.
Come on, this is funny. This is funny.
Got a kick out of that, especially with the extension cord sitting in a pool of water. Today we're going to be working on I wanted to do some plastic screwdriver handle restoration, show you guys how I tackle that, and let's take a look at what we got. Okay, today we're going to try and tackle these two screwdrivers and a nut driver. The nut driver is Acetate, and they were high quality nut drivers and tools that they made. A lot of television technicians used to use them years ago and whatnot. Really good stuff. We also have a Milford screwdriver. The tip is excellent on this, although everything else is kind of rusted and whatnot. And same thing here, we have a Fuller, and this one here, the model number is it's an 831. And this is another flat-bladed screwdriver, again corroded and whatnot. And the handles, again, look at the handles here. They're supposed to be translucent, but they've since been scratched, and that's the key. All these deep scratches, embedded scratches, especially this one here. You see a lot of deep and embedded cuts and scratches and whatnot to try and get out and to try and bring these back. This one here is, you know, totally lost its translucency and color. We don't even know what color this is, although, and it's filthy. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on these, and I'm going to show you my procedure for getting these back to looking decent. Now, first, as always, we take it over, give it a good cleaning, make sure there's no gunk on there, and wash everything off. We're using Comet this time. And then we go over the wire brush and take off the surface rust off of the metal. Now, very quickly, today's procedure is going to be using these pads. These are 2x2 inch foam backed sanding pads. This kit goes from 300 to 12,000. Just don't even feel like there's any grit in here whatsoever. Use them with a little bit of water, and it goes from all the way up in grit, so that you get a nice polish out of here. Now, depending on how bad your pen is or what kind of scratches you get, you don't have to start with the 300, but with something like this we would, because of the big scratches. After that, we finish off with a little plastic polish. I like this Meguiar's Plastics. This stuff is great for all kinds of stuff, any kind of plastic. And we're going to use the lathe to make it quick, although you could use this by hand. Now, I have this mounted in the lathe so that I can easily spin it and use it that way. But you can do it, like I said, by hand. We're going to use some water and dip the pad into it's just water to facilitate the sanding. We're starting with the coarse one here, and then we're just going to work it around back and forth, spinning this as we go around, work it around until we build up a slurry. Once we build up a slurry, we'll know that it's cutting through the plastic, which it's doing now. I could feel it. And we'll work this around, and we'll just keep turning it and working it until we get this all polished down, and then we'll advance in grits until we get down to the finest grits. It's going to be, you're not going to be able to keep the white that goes into the fullest paint here, because that's always the first to come off. But again, we're trying to make this look nice and make it serviceable, so we'll keep doing this till we get these scratches out, and then we'll work our way up the grits. Now, our last step here is we're going to put some of this Mother's Carnauba cleaner wax. This stuff smells so great. I've had this for years, and it's just such a great wax. Goes on easy. I take a little damp rag here, pick up some wax, and then just basically wax both the handles. Nice coat on here, and of course the metal area here. Going to give a nice coat of wax, let that dry, and then buff it off. Now, you know by now my favorite part. You remember what the screwdrivers looked like before we started. And we're calling this project done. Now you could see here with the X-Light, you could see, we couldn't even see through this before. And now we brought back a lot of the color, and this is an A7 model, and the shine all came out really nice on all these screwdrivers. This one here came out real nice. Remember how scratched up and dinged up this was. The backs all look good. And it just goes to show you what you can do with plastic handled screwdrivers. That's the only reason I went through this. This one here came out nice. All of these are very presentable now. You could do the same thing with the shafts as you did with the plastic. You could use the same exact sanding pads. Just go down and polish them up. I went through, hit it with the buffer real quick, and then a couple coats of wax, and they're good to go. So hope you enjoyed that quick video on just restoring these 3 screwdrivers, bringing them back to a serviceable condition. Thanks very much for stopping by. Take care. Have a nice day.